Hello guys, and welcome back to Galactic Ruler. Where we left off in the last episode, we were just pumping out, finally, our first ever Stellar Engineers, which is something that we're a little behind on pumping out, it would seem, because we finally found our first alien race, and they've already started claiming things using Stellar Engineers in other systems. Well, I finally have one, so I'm gonna get that bitch out of storage, and we're gonna move him. I believe he's FTLing, yep. Move him over to Trothup, where we are going to claim probably Alnipe or Yokorin. I can't say this. Whichever one's closer, because these are two planets that we can colonize, and we want to get control over the space around them as soon as possible. So that's what we're going to do. We are about to finish researching. Oh, we just finished researching, I believe, assuming we're selected on the right thing. We are. Okay. We just finished researching the ability to create a stellar colony ship as well. So we know we're going to need multiples of those. So I'll just throw 2 of those onto the queue right now. But they are going to come after we get 10 attack fighters done total, which we're currently working on a second stellar engineer for that other planet. And then we're also working on the attack fighters at the same time. I'll probably put one more. Where the hell did it go? Stellar. Oh gosh, this UI. Stellar Engineer on there, because for Trothnup specifically, we do have a moon right next to this settleable planet that we'll want to create something on. That's a given. The rest of this is all asteroids. I'm just gonna let eventually some colony-owned explorers handle that. There's also more stuff down here. Gaseous atmosphere. We can't really settle that ourselves, but we could still control it, and it would be smart to do so. Yeah, these are both just 2 planets we can't use. One that doesn't have an atmosphere, and one that has a gaseous atmosphere. You can live in a gaseous atmosphere planet, it's just we can't. Maybe technology later will allow us to, but we cannot. So I'm prioritizing getting these 2 planets under my control first. We are probably going to be falling behind in terms of research as time goes on, I discovered, because, you know, turns out this game doesn't play anything like it did when it first launched, and we had tons of resources available. I could have gotten started on making new research centers, but I didn't. So I'm just building a whole bulk of them. It'll take 5 years in game to make them, which is about as far, roughly, as we've gotten anyway, so it's gonna take a while. Alright, that Stellar Engineer spit itself out pretty darn close to Alnipe. So let's create a orbital station, is what we're gonna create, right here. I probably won't build an orbital storage, because these are going to get colonized and get planetary versions of that the moment I land a colony ship, just automatically, the spaceport. So I'm just claiming them for now, due to their general proximity, and we'll handle that. Visited, not fully explored? Oh yeah, that's right, that makes sense. So I've stepped into a new solar system right over here. Holy shit, look at all of this. Thankfully it knows, I think, yes, to prioritize planets and whatnot. I don't know if any of this will really be settleable for us, but we're going to explore it nonetheless. This is right next to those lizards. If we could somehow get what they know of the universe, that would save on some exploring, but either way, shouldn't be too bad. Over here, our lowly little stellar engineer is still slowly making its way over to Alnipe. This is a large planet, by the way. Look at this fucking shit. I don't know how to communicate how much larger than my planet this is, but it's a lot larger than my planet. It is a lot larger than my planet, and it kind of has like one big ocean, which is like still this. It's just that it goes infinitely. I actually wish it didn't infinite scroll, because it can make it a little confusing. But yeah, that's one big ocean. That's great. I'd love for that to be my capital. Technically speaking, I think I could change my capital, but there's no point, because my home is the one that's already built up, and none of my other colonies are going to have anything for a very long time. Additionally, we're completing a lot of construction of energy production on the planet right now. We I have to go to Earth to actually look at it, but As you see here, it was 50 in construction, now it's 38. They're just finishing like rapid fire right now. So our energy production right now is actually so high that this would essentially be equivalent to what we were using at our peak in the last couple of episodes, but our actual usage is much higher right now. And once all this research stuff finishes, it's going to get even higher. So we're going to just have to keep building more and more and more, I guess. I'll get to that in a moment, but our attack fighters are finishing. So I'm going to select all of our interceptors and I'm going to tell them to scrap because they are outdated at this point. With our first attack fighters finishing, we're going to have about 10 of them. That should be fine enough for a while. Look at our queue right now, still working on that second engineer, and we're spitting out attack fighters in the meantime. With all these energy things building, let's go ahead and start placing some more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh god, I wasn't actually counting. 4 times 4 is 16. Yes? Right. 17, 18. 19, 20. 21, 22. 23, 24. That seems sufficient for now. Maybe I could just go, say, 25, 26. There you go. And then we're going to want some roads to make sure all this stuff stays connected. Somehow, some way, somewhere. Guess we can end up making just like a road network like that. And this might as well connect like that in some way. This is already basically connected right here. These two could do... I feel like just the straightest path is probably the best when it comes to this. And there you go. 26 more placed. Roads connecting all of them. More energy is coming along. We still have a lot of energy we can exploit on our home planet, which is good. Because I still don't understand how colonies are supposed to provide energy that they acquire. Because this one is still pumping out the same amount. It's just accumulating. It hasn't sent us any. But orbital station completed. Around the Earthers. Oh, shit. That... orbital station around the Earthers. Oh, an Alnight. Oh, shit. Alnight. Alright, cool. So, Alnight, we have an orbital station around. Sweet. I, again, am probably not gonna build anything like a storage at the moment. What do you land with? You land with about 16,000 finished goods. What is that really enough to make? That's not enough to make a single defensive platform. It is enough to make an orbital storage, and then that's pretty much about it. So I guess they're just going to hold on to that. Well, no, I can't send them anything until they get a storage anyway, so. I guess they're just going to hold on to that and sit tight until I can get those colony ships up and running. Our second stellar engineer is complete. Let's go ahead and send that over to Trothup. These names are so weird. And we're going to get that one over to Yochrone. These names are so weird. And then we'll have 2 more livable planets kind of staked out for us. Livable planets for us are really not the most common things that we're finding, especially not over here in this little corner. And it really is a corner. I've also changed up our research, by the way. Well, I've added to it. So after quantum calculations finish, a bunch of stuff is going to unlock. And I made the FTL range improvement our goal. Everything required to get there, I've pretty much queued up, including the power output multiplier, which will just make all power output higher, which would be great. The stellar mining facilities, we're not going to really branch down. We just want the mining stations. And I'm going for interstellar patrol ships to give us our first military vessel capable of interstellar flight, the Corvette. Because now that we're going to have colonies in other locations, we are going to need stuff to defend those colonies. So, gotta research that first. Our second stellar engineer has arrived in system. And we're going to get it moving down to Yochrone to build an orbital station. Jungle Islands versus temperate forests. I guess there are, like, biomes within biomes, huh? Alright, we have a survey ship here that just finished the surveying of Papua, right there. We're gonna take this survey ship and FTL it over to Hinia, continue its surveying over there. I'm checking in on what they're doing, because they're very dumb, and if I don't micromanage the living shit out of them, they won't do anything. So this one's almost done. Over there at Kithia. Over at Vuderoth or whatever, there's not a lot to do, but I gotta keep an eye on this one, otherwise it's gonna start scanning the entire asteroid belt, which is unnecessary, and Tufarth down here. Looks like there's only this planet and its moons remaining, but that's really out of our reach anyway. Bebrike here looks, well, this kind of star, I see it, and then my brain thinks, there's probably a good chance something settleable is over there. But then again, look at this one right here. Fapua has absolutely nothing we can actually live on. Does have livable things, just not things that we can live on. A very large planet, thick polluted. Holy fucking shit, this is a big planet. There's, I think, only one species in the entire, oh my god, in the entire game. There's only one species that can live on polluted atmospheres by default. And it's like really the bad guy species. So this one has no metal ore. That's interesting. Man, if we could ever live on something like that eventually, this place is energy laden. I've gone around looking and I have in fact found the tree of research required to get to colonizing other things. Right now, we're not exactly short on choices, so I don't really mind. We won our first election. We're the moderate party, apparently. And we won very easily. Not that I have a lot of control over that to begin with, except for like maybe a couple of sliders, but the election went quickly and we won it. A democracy win. We just finished our first ore harvester as well. There it is. It started spawning ore collectors. So that's really interesting. I'm still really curious to see what that actually means. Like, what does this do? I can't... Okay, here you go. I was gonna say, I can't really select these, can I? So, they have cargo capacity, which is, like, filling up. It's clearly filling up. Are you already harvesting the ore? I don't know. I would assume you'd have to be there, but... You can't really see, I think, what is in the cargo. You could just see that it has cargo. I would imagine it could be like fuel or something. But they might just be harvesting this already. Alright, let's see here. Okay, so yeah. The cargo filled up. And he generated a crate. 10 KT of ore. And now he's gonna head back. They're both gonna head back with that ore. 10 KT of ore. How much is that? Is this all in KT? I think I have to come down here to find something more telling about that. No, they just use tons. So 10K tons would be 10,000 tons. So that very short trip, and they acquired, between the two of them, 20K tons of ore. That's what they accomplished. Wow, they really just have to come all the way out here, don't they? I feel like the trip is like the longest part of it. They're still just headed out there. I'm not sure why they're going... Like, you go into the edge of this hex before you turn around? You are. It's kind of like an on-rails animation. That's weird, but they're harvesting before they even get there. It takes a couple of days for them to generate this ore, but they are still generating ore, and I'm sure this will become more effective with further technologies, so... Now we have some additional ore generation without actually building any on the planet. Don't know if these asteroids are limited or what still. I'm not really sure. I also don't know if this runs out, if that's even possible. If the ore collectors will go somewhere else, like all the way over here. That would be hilarious. Inefficient, but hilarious. I probably wouldn't actually have them do that. Just by how slow they fucking go, man. They go slow as shit. Takes them, like, whew. What in in-game time? Multiple days, certainly. It feels like this bar fills up multiple times for every day that goes by. I think it does. I think the bars are counting in like... Oh, I see. 34, 1 hour. 35 hours in a day? What the hell? I have another stellar engineer ready to go. I don't remember queuing up 3 initially. Maybe we don't need this other one for right now. Not... just yet anyway. I'll look back at that later. I'll send this stellar engineer over to Trothup as well, and then that one can go ahead and claim the space around Eochrone 1, which is a lava planet. Good to exploit for that colony, I suppose. but not exactly special to me. I don't really know if I want to rush getting these afterwards or not. Those Raptirians have expanded again, this time into Faphua. They took a moon, a barren moon. Just they made an orbital station around there. It's quite interesting. I can't really stop them and their expansions because I don't have, well, any military ships that can go to other locations. Once I do get corvettes, assuming they don't already have corvettes, which I bet they probably will, then I could technically do stuff. They're just getting, oh, we both are just getting so much war justification towards each other, and I don't really understand why. There's not really any way to, I don't know, become friends. I could just throw free shit at them, and that's probably the best. That would work in Supreme Ruler, just throwing money at someone, whether it's through support government or not. Throwing resources at someone would probably be a good way to get them to like you, but I have a good feeling we might end up fighting these lizards eventually, especially if they keep getting war justification back and forth towards me. That next stellar engineer has arrived. Let's go build an orbital station right on Yokron 1. The one at Yokron proper is done now. So our expansion's going smoothly. I'll probably just kind of pick one spot to expand over and just kind of stay there. I guess maybe I could throw like 2 more stellar engineers into the queue just for those other planets. Just for right now, I'm not trying to think too far ahead because there's just so many things that I need in general. And here's the thing is, once we get corvettes, yeah, we could fight over space, but we'd still need stellar transports to transport a bunch of ground units, of which I'm only pumping out really shitty ones right now. Just the basic ones. There's that bug again. Just the basic ones at very slow paces. Hell, looks like we started out with a lot of light infantry, because I sure as hell can't make any light infantry. Yeah, no. We just started out with a bunch of old light infantry. Well, maybe not a bunch. Started out with a variety of things, actually. Over here at Lobinda, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a ore harvester, is what I'm going to do. And it'll harvest ore from Lobinda 1, which is an asteroid that they can harvest from. We don't need a... Oh, we don't even have those yet, do we? A mining station? Yeah, we don't even have those. Just that for that. So they'll be collecting some energy. They'll be collecting that ore. They'll have everything really coming to them except for, like, maybe food? They do produce a little bit of food. This will allow them to, I guess, if their population gets too high. Because they do have population, even though they're just in space, right? But I think... Yeah, they do have population, even though they're just limited to space. Well, they have everything except an income of finished goods. Speaking of which, they're not going to need a lot of the finished goods that they have. So I'll take like 400k back because they're not going to need it. We're pretty much forced to say yes to that. We just finished quantum calculations research. That opens up the energy field generator, which will buff up our space beam defense values. Or against that, I guess. And then that'll lead towards power output modifiers. So that's pretty important. That's going to start researching next. I'm pretty happy with that. Then after stellar mining facilities are done, interstellar patrol ships should start researching as well. And that seems pretty good to me because that's going to finish up pretty soon as well. Another system is now fully explored. This one over here, finally at the little corner that we can't really get past with current range. I'll tell this guy to go to Resoula. Right there. And get him some more fuel. Once he has fuel, he'll set out this way to explore all the stuff we haven't actually explored yet. Everyone here is still busy, but they have enough fuel. And hopefully, I don't know, hopefully find some more good shit. Our 10 attack fighters are done. Oh, here you are. That survey's here. Let me tell you, just go to the reserves for right now. Our 10 attack fighters are done, so we are getting started here on those 2 colony ships, and then we have 2 stellar engineers after that to finish claiming that little system there. And then I'm not really sure what we're going to make exactly after that. There's probably a lot of things that we need. Probably a whole lot of things that we need. Mining facilities are about to be researched 60 to 99 days. Potentially by the time those engineers are done, we will have the ability to make corvettes. But I might go ahead and queue up some things that could be nice to have. Maybe like a planetary transport civilian trade ship. Those could be useful in system. Stellar variants as well. It's a lot of building to dedicate to something that I may need in the future, but it could still be useful to have. There's no world market here like in 2030 where we could just sell and buy military units when we need them, so we'll build these colony ships. They'll have a long ways to go before they're ready to do anything. These attack fighters are good enough defense for now. This is just basically a way to defend if like one Corvette shows up in a system. Assuming like someone becomes hostile to me and shows up in system with a Corvette. It's just like fend them off. But hopefully we shouldn't need them, because if someone has a Corvette and comes over here and attacks us, I think we would be on the back foot because we already kind of failed. The Raptirians have expanded again. Where is this? At Vudroth, they've expanded there. That's no surprise. They're expanding and claiming stuff really, really quickly. Really, really quickly. Which one's your capital? This is your capital, right? No, I don't know. It's got 2 shipyards at it right now. Maybe this was your capital. No, that was not your capital. Okay, so this was your capital. They're building a 3rd shipyard. They're building at roughly the same rate we are. They only have defense platforms. Well, I guess they also have this one. So they have way more shipyards because they haven't colonized their neighboring moon. Maybe. Well, no, it kind of looks like they might have colonized it. I'm not sure. But they might have technically way more native ship production than me. Directly, without colonies. So that would explain how they're expanding so quickly. That survey ship that I had go reserve and refuel is actually just heading somewhere. It's funny, when they finish exploring, they just don't decide to do anything else on their own. But otherwise, they'll just go ahead and start exploring on their own. I'll move this one over to Gulu. That's the furthest out place that probably might lead somewhere. And then the rest of these are still busy. All of our finished goods that I started building have finished, so we're pumping out way more finished goods now, which is good because our sustainability of finished goods, recently I've seen it have some problems keeping up. I think the merchant AI is doing a decent enough job keeping it up, but it's almost positive even with all the construction that we're doing. And another wave of power plants is finishing. That number keeps going higher, but the usage of energy keeps going higher as well as we build other things. So we have to keep up. We last placed 26. We got to go place some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Well, that's not going to work out too great, but 25, 26. Let's just build another 26. Doesn't have to be even numbers. I like building it at even numbers, but it doesn't have to be even numbers. Let's go ahead and build some more roads. How do I even do this? Like that, I guess. Sure. Connect you. Connect you. Connect you. Might as well do that as well. Connect thou. And I believe that's everything that I just placed. Over at Vudorth, we finished exploring all the planets and moons. All that remains are the asteroids. We're not going to bother with that. There's really no point. So let's select this unit. And we'll FTL it. Let's say Atrogawa. Sure, why not? There's nothing we desperately need to explore, so we're good. Everything around us is thankfully pretty empty. We're in a little bit of a corner until the ranges improve. And they will improve with time. Still another roughly 60-ish days, about half a year in metric in-game time, assuming that's what we're going by, until these patrol ships are available and we can actually start getting military units that can go elsewhere and fight dudes elsewhere. And once we do get those, we could potentially war with our reptilian neighbors. I'd rather befriend them, but I mean, look at this. We have 74% to wars and they have 61%. This is on medium volatility, for fuck's sake. Only medium. And they just fucking hate us. Maybe medium was a mistake. Looking at Misuthia over here, we now have available an ore mining station to exploit the ore on this planet. 240,000 tons of finished goods. We could also build a ore harvester for this asteroid over here. That's also a lot of finished goods though. I will go ahead and build these things, because, you know, that's what this is good for. Don't know really what we'll be doing with any of this ore, but might as well get it under construction. Finished goods, they have 331k. They're going to need at least another 100 and so k. Let's send them 188k. Request nothing, and that should be enough for them to finish building all of that. If you look over to Xenon, how much did I leave them with? Almost 600k. Yeah, that seems pretty good to me. Well, we'll definitely get a mining station here, given what sort of place it is. These are just 2 barren moons, so they're not exactly valuable to look at for anything. There's no asteroids nearby. And since there's no asteroids nearby, let's go ahead and put an energy collector here alongside that mining station, because there is a little bit of energy on these lava planets. I am still curious to see if this is limited in some way, if these are limited resources. I'm really not sure. Oh, and I think my game just crashed. Yep, game just crashed, so I'll get it rebooted and redo those actions from whatever autosave we have. Alright, those actions are repeated. I don't actually know how much, like, time we lost or anything. Oh, a little bit, actually, because we had already settled Yochrone 1. I just hadn't mentioned it. Well, that's fine. It shouldn't have been too far off. Let's get mutual defense and, I guess, research sharing with every single colony that we have over in this system. Mutual defense, research sharing. And then when Yochrone 1 is settled, which it's about to be, let's go ahead and max speed this shit. I got all the constructions going again. And there you go. Well, that's actually just the same colony, yeah? Alright, cool. Well, that's taken care of. Oh, this is interesting. I found one of the Lizard's survey ships. See this? One of their survey ships is right here on this asteroid. Right in Hinia. Also, this survey ship right here is clear to go somewhere else, I suppose. It's more than halfway through its fuel, so I think I might send it back home and get it some fuel before sending it out again. I should probably start making use of this space around Luna. It'd be potentially expensive to fund, but I could definitely put some more... where is it? Shipyards in orbit. 2 more shipyards. They have 3. They'll have 1 more than me because I'm using a ore harvester, but I could maybe use them for pumping something out. Clearly not anything that's going to claim anything, but honestly, given how this stuff works anyway, I could have them pump out whatever ships I want them to pump out and then just trade them to myself to put them under my full control, technically, whether they're military or otherwise. As long as I stay militarily more capable than them to begin with, that should work. However, that would have a pretty immense cost. I found this survey ship's been stuck for a while, trying to pathfind its way over there to survey that. But it keeps running into the lizard territory and getting confused because it's not allowed there. It's been stuck in this loop for a while in-game, which is a complete waste of fucking time, but you know, that's what it is. I'll send this one back here as well to get some fuel. So I have 2 of them coming home I'll have to fuel up, but we have a nice full episode for right now. So feel free to let me know what you guys think about this game and this series so far in the comments below. It feels like an extremely slow version of Supreme Ruler. That's what it feels like, but hope you guys are enjoying the series nonetheless. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope I'll see you on the next one.